a live stream. Now, this is a bit of an unusual one because I'm not in my usual painting position. This is, in fact, my backup painting area, and that is because we are having some house remodeling done, and that has meant that I can not be in the attic, but it has led to some other things. So it has meant that I can use my backup, as I say, my backup painting area with my backup camera, and we are still sort of, there we are, we're still getting there, really. So hello and welcome to the live stream. I'm going to not going to get into it for another couple of minutes yet because I've actually started early. That's one of the other the benefits of having of being down here. So thank you for the one person or 6 people now who've turned up early. One person had turned up early and liked it when I last looked. So thank you for liking the video. If you are here, hello, hello, hello. Apologies that I am being rather tardy on this one. This is going to be the start of the 2024 Advent Calendar Challenge. Now, the reason I have been tardy is last weekend I was up in Morpeth with some friends, and we were having the next 2 battles of our campaign. Now, I am I'm looking for a specific paint. Now, also, my camera is upside down, so everything I'm going to be doing is probably going to be upside down until I look and remember. So I will apologise for that in advance. So there we are. I need to be a bit closer to me, do I? I need to tip the light a little bit. There we are. It's going to be yellow now, though. There we are. Right. So here are 2 Inniskilling. Well, they're actually household cavalry, and they need a good painting, as do my epic cavalry, my light cavalry. This is the second sprue. These guys are... see, I told you I'd need a bit of... I do everything upside down. These are the right way up. They're upside down to me. So these guys are the rest of the light cavalry. As you can see, I've already started painting this one here in his green. He is going to be a musician. Now, I didn't paint the chasseur à cheval in the green because he's going to be in reverse colours, which is for the sort of the mid-war, and the same with the hussar. Now, the reason that I didn't do that for the lancers is because they didn't have lancers in the mid-war. They were a late war invention. So that's why I've gone for the green and the yellow there, and the other that's going to be in reverse colours. So, Skillings, as Wellington says in the movie, I hang and flog more of them than anyone. Absolutely, but that's a sign of a good soldier. Well, that and firing 3 rounds a minute in any weather. So yes. So welcome to the stream. Now, those of you who didn't see my post on, I believe it was on Monday, I posted it. Sorry, I'm just going to try and move the camera out a little bit so we can see more of what's going on. So there we go. It's all a bit crazy. There we are. Yeah, so those of you who didn't see my post on, I believe it was Monday, although it could have been Sunday. It might have been me yesterday. Anyway, whenever it was, those of you who didn't see it, let's see if I can get the camera the right way around as well. You see, the problem is it's an absolute horror show, my backup painting table. So you're seeing all the behind the scenes grimness here. There we are. Right. So those of you who haven't seen my message will not know there is a link to this year's Advent Calendar. I've put it in the description of this video. So that will take you to this year's Advent Calendar. The challenge is the same as always. It's going to be on the 24th of December, after the final one has been revealed. Then send me the answers to what you think the each individual who's in the pictures is. Now, in this year, I've gone back to famous faces. Some of them will be a little bit obscure, but the most obscure ones will probably have videos on my channel about them. So if you're unsure, you can perhaps flick through them. Today's is a perfect example of that. Looking for skeleton horde. Here we are. I found it. Today's is a perfect example of that. Should this be Advent Calendar 2024? Did I put 24 or did I put 25? I think I might have put 25. But, you know, I live in the future here. That's because working in a hospital, I've been booking everyone's appointments for 2025 today. So that's in my head. Yes, it should be 2024. Thank you. I shall change that in the post show. So it is personalities this time around. We've had flags, we've had national flags, and we had regimental flags. We've had battles, I believe. So I thought I'd keep it fairly simple this year, and we would just have personalities. Now, as I say, some of them will be easy, some of them will not. So I'm going to do the clues for the first 4 days right now. So the clues for so we'll do those, and then hopefully at 6:15 every day for the rest of the month, we'll be having the clue for that day's personality. Now the that is in addition to normal videos. So coming up, we've got the worst to best or best to worst French cavalry sets. So which one do I think is the best for the French cavalry? Which one do I think is the worst? And ranking all the others in between. I'm just making sure that I'm actually on camera. I am. That's a nice change. And ranking all the others in between. And then we've got the 2 battles from our ongoing campaigns. So those are going to be held over for, I believe it's the 15th of December. And then the big one is going to be on the 22nd of December. Then we'll have a break. Yes, no, the white on my painting board. There was a so it was a paint. It was like a tubular paint, and I was trying to squeeze the white out of it, and it turned out to be an airbrush paint. So it had like a big ball bearing in, which blasted off the thing and just spattered the whole dewey. Let me just get these demons out of the way. There we go. I've got a banzaiing Japanese guy, so he's for my my bolt action army. I'll get him out of the way. I've also got a Blackroot Vale standard bearer, who in Lord of the Rings, he is in the fiefdoms army. He is one of the best standard bearer models I think Games Workshop have ever made. He's also the last person in that army that you would give a standard to. So there you go. Typical GW. Now you can see I've done the sheepskin of the musicians. I've done those black, and that is because they had black sheepskins. So that's the super secret behind that one. Good evening, Luke. Good evening, Rob. Hello, AS, and hello, Michael. So going into the clues for the Advent Calendar 2024 so far. On the 1st of December, there was only 2 people that could really start it, wasn't there? And I chose the chap who has been the emblem of the channel since day one. He was also, I'm going to give this one away here, he was also the first Napoleonic figure as well. So if you haven't watched that series, then now is the time. He was known as the Hussar General, and he famously said that any Hussar who isn't dead by 30 is a blackguard. Now, he himself was still alive at 30. I believe he was 34 when he was killed, and he was killed at the Battle of Wagram. For my money, his death saw the end of the Romanticism of the Napoleonic period and the beginning of the Napoleonic warfare reaching its what I call its modern era. So I think it went from being the gentlemanly fun pursuit, if war's ever been fun, to a matter of states and existentialism. Certainly 1812, I think was. So so that is he was the chap who graced our Advent calendar on the 1st of December. So I'm going to click through to the second because I can't remember who it was. Yes. Now he is one of my favorite commanders. He is often seen as being the best of the commanders of the nation that he was part of. He only had one eye. He lost it fighting against the Turks. And he appears in War and Peace. He was played by Brian Cox in the latest TV series, the guy from Succession. So he is super cool. I'm trying to think, did he have any World War II operations named after him? I don't think he did, actually. He was a great believer in what's often been called the Fabian approach to warfare. Now, Fabius was a Roman general who, well, he was a dictator, actually, who was elected dictator in the time of Hannibal. And he believed that rather than engaging Hannibal like the others had, the best thing to do was just simply wait him out. Shadow his army with your own army, force him to go places he didn't necessarily want to because perhaps the food and supply situation wasn't so good, and just hold him at arm's length and slowly weigh him down. So that was Fabius. I think it was Quintus Fabius, perhaps. So the Fabian strategy was just that, and his army would retreat and retreat and retreat. Now, eventually, the ruler of his nation said that they couldn't give up the capital without at least a fight. So there was a fight outside of the capital. I don't want to obviously, if I tell you the name of the battle, I'm going to give it away too much, so I don't want to. Okay, yeah, fair enough. So Fabius is Shield of Rome. That's one. So try not to give it away, please, AS, because I know this is for a competition. I know you are excited about it. That's absolutely fine. But try not to give it away. Save your answers for the 24th of December, because if you can send me 16 or more correct answers, then you will enter the draw for either a Waterloo starter set or an epic scale starter army. Right, so that is the second. Now the third, if you know this one, if you can keep it to yourself. Yes, this is so we've gone from a commander in the early late war to a commander in the late war. So he was a commander at the very last battle of the Napoleonic Wars. Now he was actually wounded at that battle, and the place of his wounding is now where the Lion Mount has been erected. So he was at Waterloo, and he was wounded. Now he is a controversial figure. Some people say that he was very poor performing. Some people say that he was better than the Duke certainly gave him credit for. I am inclined to believe the people at the time. I think there is some modern reinterpretation of him, which I don't think is necessarily borne out by the facts. But for the sake of open and transparency, there are those who think that he was a much better commander than history has portrayed him. No, you're right. Yes, don't you worry, buddy. Don't you worry. I hadn't said not to. So that's entirely my fault. Don't you have nothing to apologise. Don't worry about that. You've reminded me actually that I have to turn off comments on the videos because people do get excited and they put the answers in the comments. So thank you for reminding me of that. And to be honest, I think it's not the most difficult one. So I'm hoping most people should know that one. Barclay de Tolly was much better than he's given credit for. Yeah, perhaps actually. He was up against a group of generals who were absolutely at their peak. Not just Napoleon, but people like Davout and Ney and people like that as well. So, yeah, he is. I am open to believing that Barclay de Tolly was better than his record would suggest. So I'm just using, this is Skeleton Horde. This is their like bone color. And this is what I use for sheepskin. I use it for this, which is 12 mil. And I use it for 28 mil as well. It goes on really nicely. The fur is actually sculpted on these 12 mil models, like crazily. So the fur really gets picked out by the contrast paints quite nicely. And it does just the job. On these sort of tan, these dun colored horses, it's not quite as contrasty as you might want, if you pardon the expression. but it because I've used what have I used? I've used Agros Dunes contrast paint on these. So there we go. I'm going to do more of them with the dark brown, the Gorgrunter fur. I want my light cavalry to have lighter coloured horses. So Gorgrunter is going to be the darkest I go. And I want darker colours. So Gorgrunter will be the lightest colour for my heavies. So my Caraziers, my Dragoons, my Carabiniers. Well, Carabiniers will have black horses. But my Dragoons and Caraziers, I'll probably go with like Gawthor Brown and blacks for those. So I find Skeleton Horde a great colour for hair. It looks good. Yes, absolutely. I've painted my Sharp with that coloured hair. No, it is very, very good for that. It's also good for manes as well. If you're doing horses with sort of straw-coloured hair, so when I do these white horses for the musicians, I'll be using Skeleton Horde on their hair. I've missed a couple of bits on that horse there. Just touch those up. So what have I got? I've got these horses here. This one, he's going to be a musician. So I've got a Hussar musician horse I need to do. So I think this one here is probably the cleanest white horse I've got left. So I've not got any done horses yet. So he's going to be done. He's going to be white. He'll be done as well. This is an officer. I'll give him a dark coloured horse, I think. I'm not hugely into the dun. I think it looks okay, but I think the Gorgrunter looks better. As I say, I don't want to do too much on the. I don't want to do too much for the lights in the of dark. Now I'm going to leave some markings on the horse here. It was believed at the time that markings were the sign of a poor horse. Now, light cavalry officers would have good horses, but again, the idea is that it shows this is a late army, this is Waterloo, so you're pretty much making use of what you can get hold of. I'm going to make that a black horse, and I'm going to make the I'm going to make that one a black horse, I think. As I say, I don't want to do many black horses for the light cavalry. I want to save them for the heavies, and that's a good visual way. Sorry, I'm just looking at what markings I've done on the legs. That's a good visual way that you can demarcate heavy and light cavalry is with the colours of the horses. Now, again, historically, they would have had different colours depending on the squadron that the horse was part of. But by this time of the war, if you've got 4 legs and you eat hay, you are a horse. So they really would not care what the colours were, what the markings were. I've actually read that at Waterloo, the Grenadier à Cheval, who always rode black horses, actually didn't have enough black horses for them in the battle. So they would have ridden brown horses as well. The black horses that they did have, they were given to the Guard artillery. Obviously, Napoleon being an artilleryman, the Guard artillery, Napoleon's daughters, were very close to his heart. So that's why they got first dibs on any black horses. Have I heard of the French novel called A Retreat? There's a comic book of it called Berégina. No, I haven't. I have not. I will have a look. That's the other good thing about being here. I've got much better internet, so I can check stuff like that out. Berégina graphic novel. There we are. Hang on, he's on the motorbike there. That can't be the right one. He's got Napoleon in the background though, so I may treat myself to that one. Thank you for the heads up. More epic, or is this the same sprue as last time? No. This is the second sprue. So the first sprue is complete and based, in every sense of the word, and so the this is the second sprue. Now, I would say when I was basing the first sprue that there's actually more figures on there than you think. Let me just zap that bit there. There's more figures on here than you think because chasseur-wise, as an example, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chasseurs. Hussars, you also get 6. And for the Lancers, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And for the Hussars, you get 7 as well. So you get 6 chasseurs, 7 Lancers, 7 Hussars. Now I've based mine 5 to a base, so it actually means I'm getting sort of 1 and a bit bases per sprue. So that's quite handy. That's not bad at all. Now one of these had lots of splashes on him, didn't he? This one here. So he's going to be the dun coloured one. There we go. And then the other one he will be the trumpeter. Now the trumpets come separately. The trumpets are here. So both of my trumpeters are going to have the trumpets slung on their backs. They're charging forward. If you know the Saxon Garde de Corps models from Eureka, he's going to be done in the same way as the musicians done in there. So just hit that one up. Let's get this Hussar Elite Trooper and get him done as well. So yeah, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be 5 or 6 to a base, if I'm honest. I use 5. That seems to fill the base quite nicely. Now, I also use deeper bases than you're supposed to as well. They're only supposed to be 20 mil deep. I use 40 mil deep bases just because it allows a little bit of modelling on the base as well. And the depth doesn't usually matter. It's more the frontage that's the important thing. So that's why I didn't mind it too much. You can see I've done the same thing on my Romans as well. So my Romans are on a 40 mil deep base. It just means out the front here, I'll be able to have a bit of grass and things like that. I think it's just going to make the models look cooler. When they're really crammed on the base and they're overhanging it, I don't think it looks so great, to be honest. I can see why I've done it, but for me, I like a little bit of extra depth on the bases. It also helps protect models like this with the saber out. There's a risk of those being damaged. So it also helps protect your minis as well. And if you're sort of carrying them to work like I do, and then from work to the club, things like that, then yeah, protecting your minis can be quite important. So that's that one done there, and then we'll get this one done. Then I'm going to go with black on the Lancer officer here. I think when it comes to the Lancers, I think I've done the standard bearer, but not the officer. The reason I decided to do the buglers on this second sprue was because if I forgot and painted over the horse that I was planning on doing as the muso, I still had another sprue to come, so I could choose one of those instead. So that's my my planning to fail, or putting in a fail safe, shall we say? So there we go. That's those done there. As I say, he needs to be white. So he's not on the camera. He needs to be white. So he's going to get an apothecary white wash, as does this horse and this horse here. I think they've already had their washes actually. And this guy, I'm just going to do as a black horse. He is the officer. That's Paul. That's okay, Paul. I shall let you off. If I watch Jack Hargreaves' our French horse breeds, he shows you the breed of. Oh, right, okay. I didn't even know that was a thing. So I shall indeed do that. I will. Let's get that up as well. So look, 1190 for Beregina on there. That one is 849. All right, okay, I might go for that one then. The Great Battles of the First Empire Beregina one is £55. Now I have to say that is an absolute bargain. It's unfortunately from America though, and the shipping is an additional £27 on top. But if you've not seen the Francois Guy Autou books, they are absolutely superb. They are very, very good. Oh, excuse me while I just get my coffee. You haven't missed much Imra Hill. Although you did miss me complaining about the Blackroot Vale Archers standard bearer being the best standard bearer against I've ever made, despite it being the last model in the entire army that you would ever give it to. So there was that. Where is? Let me just move this out of the way. Where is my Apothecary White? I don't know, but there's my Black Legion. So we'll do the Black Horse with this. You did miss. I was going through the clues for the Advent calendar pictures so far. The rules are: please don't give away the who you think they are. The link is in the description. And the rules are: if you can get 16 or more correct answers to me, I'll give you the instruction of where to email them. Don't email them yet. Save it all up for the 24th of December. Email me then. And if you get 16 or more, you'll be in the prize draw. And you could win either a Waterloo starter box or a starter army for Epic Waterloo, depending on which one you want. So we did the first three. We did a chap who has, from day one, been the emblem of the channel. We had a guy who we discussed Fabius and his retreat strategy. So he was the second guy. Not Fabius, because he's a Roman, but a guy who obviously knew his ancient history and used that against Napoleon. And then the third one we had was a chap who was wounded at the Battle of Waterloo in a location where the Lion Mound is now. I should say as well that he wasn't killed because he came back to life in another Napoleonic movie where he was a doctor. So he obviously didn't do... obviously wasn't... Maybe he learned medicine healing himself and came back as a doctor in a different Napoleonic film, which was actually set beforehand. So maybe he was a doctor first. I don't know. So going into the fourth one. Now, this one I think is going to be quite difficult if you are new to the channel. This is a Napoleonic figure video I did some time ago, and it marks a real sea change in the channel, actually. It was when it was the first very, very long form video I'd done. I think it's about an hour. It delves deep into his background and his activities, fighting against the French, the English, and his own people as well. He's an absolutely fascinating dude. Still a national hero in his country of birth. And yes, no, in fact, ignore everything I've just said. That was absolutely a complete lie. It's not him. I was going to say it was Muhammad Ali Pasha, who is the video and is the guy, but it's not Muhammad Ali Pasha. It is not him. It's his erstwhile boss, the man who at least originally he answered to, the man who sent Muhammad Ali Pasha to Egypt in the first place. Now, this guy, he a little bit like Napoleon, he decided that the army needed reformation. Now, his army absolutely needed reformation. Napoleon had was probably coming off the back of the Revolutionary Wars, which had already reorganized it plenty. But this chap, his army was in dire need of modernizing. In fact, that's kind of a running theme. A later ally of the nation that this guy was the commander of said that it was like being fettered to a corpse, was his description of that empire. Now, there are three possible people that it could be for the Napoleonic period. This is the middle one. He is the chap who, as I say, he tried to destroy a centuries-old warrior caste and bring in what was called the New Army. Unfortunately, the warrior caste were not too keen on the New Army, so they got together and they did him in. He was murdered in his palace. There is some again, it's a little bit like ancient Rome, isn't it? Really, there is some discrepancies about how bravely he faced his death. But yes, so that he is. I don't want to give too much away. He's a little bit more of a difficult one. I think if you know, you know. If you don't know, you might need to do a little bit of research. As I say, he fought against the French and the English. He tried to reform the army to create the new army, but he was stymied by the centuries-old warrior caste, who obviously had their noses put out of joint. Yes, no, the Ganseric Shot Whites in Hill are absolutely horrendous. But yeah, Apothecary White is the contrast paint, and that's actually pretty good. But no. Apart from that, yes, you want to stay as far away from GW White as is humanly possible. It is absolutely dire. So this is the officer. He's going to have a black horse, but he's going to have a black horse with markings. He's not going to get out of it lightly. He's only a line lancer, after all. I mean, they're effectively chasseurs on the order of horses. But this guy, maybe he is a late call up, and maybe his farm back in Champagne. Maybe they had a trusty black mare that he took with him, and that's what he's riding across the Battle of Waterloo. I should say as well, while you guys are here, that there is currently a half-price sale on certain products on the Warlord Games website. So sprues, individual sprues, are currently half price, as is all the digital media. Now, I have just picked up for the princely sum of £5 the PDF of Hold Fast, which is the supplement to Black Seas. It is really good, really good actually. It's got the Russians in there, the Swedes. It's got some additional rules in there for campaign rules, which are they're okay. You can probably do your own campaign better, but it's fun that it's in there. But yeah, it's got Swedes, Russians, Austro-Hungarians, although they didn't really have much in the way of a navy. It's really good. I some of you may know I bought the Bloggernaut when we went to Under Eagles to Glory, an absolute beast of a ship. It actually was based on the Santa Misia Trinidad, but was actually bigger than her. So I was very happy to get my supplement for the Rushkies. We may be seeing more Black Seas in the future. I know it's not that popular, but it's a great game. I think if more people gave it a go, I think people it's at its best in the Wargaming Club. It's at its best when there's sort of half a dozen of you. You've got maybe a squadron of ships each, and you're sailing around blasting at each other. It's a really fun game. Would recommend. Were the Lancers formed from dragoons? Yes, they were. Yeah, but they were. But if you look at the uniforms, they are far more chasseury. So they have the trousers, the overalls that go over the boots and things like that. But yes, no, you're right. They were formed from the French dragoons. And again, dragoons not exactly high up the pecking order of horses. In fact, I believe dragoons were perhaps at the very bottom. With the invasion of Russia, wasn't there a regiment of dismounted dragoons? So they were so far down the pecking order, there was a regiment that didn't even have them. Fairly sure that was. May not have been during the invasion of Russia, though. It might have been something like 1809. But I'm fairly sure there was a unit of dismounted dragoons at some point. So he is at the Black Horse, as you've seen. I've been trying to do some booch while I've been doing this while the black's out. I'm not going to do the reins or anything like that. I'm going to use a black paint for that. This is still a black contrast. Which, to be honest, this is Abaddon Black. So this is Black Legion. So this is the darker of the two blacks. Blacker than the blackest black. This one is it's very dark. The Black Templar is a little grayer. You can see I've done the reins on that one already. In fact, I've done the reins on a few, but that's using like an actual paint rather than contrast. So I'm just trying to get the boots done here. I'm going to do the Shakos as well. Now, one of the things at this period is they may have had coloured Shakos. They certainly may have done in the mid-war. Some guys had like red Shakos and blue Shakos and stuff like that. But not my guys. My guys are going to be boring. They're going to have black Shakos for now. And I can always fancy them up later. But if and when I do more regiments. Now, haven't actually ordered any more epic Napoleonics yet, because I ordered some Carthaginian elephants. So I did that as well, and I am absolutely skint now. So that is the oh yeah, I also I should have asked Dan to order it for me actually, but I got the model of the month as well, who is not Germanicus. That was last month. It's I think it's Tiberius this month. General Dan is more the ancient Rome guy than me. I only think about it once a day. He must think about it at least 3 times a day, I'd have thought. Although he does consider Constantinople Rome, so we fall out about that one. 1805 and 1806. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I thought it might have been earlier, but I mean that's when the army was at its absolute peak as well. They still didn't have enough horses, but they did have a lot of regiments of dragoons, so that's fair enough. I don't only do historical battles. No, and I think that's certainly the way to go. I think sort of the further back in time you go, the more acceptable that seems to be. Like, you'll get some people who'll be like, "Oh no, those guys are wearing the wrong buttons to fight the Prussians or whatever," but they'll quite happily put their ancient Egyptians up against some like Swiss pikemen or something like that. So, because WRG made that acceptable in the 70s or 80s. So yeah, I don't know. I think there's some people have some strange ideas out there, I think. Right, so I believe is that all of the. You know what? I was going to try and leave this guy's tassels, but change my mind. I'll paint over them and I'll go over them with the white later. Is there anyone I've missed? Let's have a look. Shoes are all done here. Issues done. Oh yes, I missed these. 4 chaps up at the top. Don't cry. Smile because it happened. Absolutely. Has anyone seen Gladiator 2 yet? I couldn't face it after Napoleon, if I'm honest. And when I read the mixed reviews, I kind of ducked out. So there's the War of the Rohirrim starts tomorrow. I did hear, so I might go and see that. But anime is not really my bag. So, if I can persuade someone to come and see it with me, I might go, but I'm not going to go on my own. I don't think. It seems to be it's a strong woman who don't need no man as well, which is not very Tolkien, is it? To be honest. I've not done this side at all, have I? All right, blimey. I've done the Shakos at the top, but you can have black hair as well. I've done that Busby, so that's not too bad. We need Napoleon 2 Electric Boogaloo. I think I've seen enough of Ridley Scott's Napoleon to last me. Thank you very much. I think I shall give that one a miss. The Girls on Panzer film. Yeah, you know what? I started watching that. I think I might have told this story before. As you've seen by my banzaiing Japanese guy, Banzai! He didn't print properly. The bottom of his rifle not printed properly. But yeah, I've got a Japanese World War II army, so I bought the Chiha platoon set. Now this was back when you could only have 1 tank in your bolt action army. So I thought, right, well, I'll do one as the Chiha. I'll do one as the Chiha Hargo, which is the new turret. So the Chiha has got a howitzer. The Hargo's got I think it's a medium or maybe even a light anti-tank gun. I can't imagine it's probably like a 6-inch gun or something like that. It's pretty pathetic. And I was like, I don't know what to do with the third one. So I was going to do the third one with all the hatches open and the Girls on Panzer crew on it. but I cannot believe that no one does STL files for the Girls and Panzer girls, and it's really hard to get but giggity. It's really hard to get hold of like anime schoolgirl models that aren't ridiculous. So at the moment, this ambition remains unfulfilled. If someone knows of they do the Italians, the anchovy, I think, but not the Japanese. So anyway, so I thought, well, I don't really know anything about it. I know it is a thing, but I don't know anything about it. So I watched the first episode, and the opening was pretty good actually. And I got about 2/3 of the way through the episode, and I was like, I can't watch this. This is terrible. So that's as far as into Girls and Panzer I got. Maybe I just need to fight through the pain. Maybe I just need to accept it and move on. No, I agree, Deep Red. I don't think it. I don't think it does. I don't think it does fit in. Hello, Joseph. We are well. We're up to being pardoned. So well done. Congratulations on the pardon. I'm very pleased for you. Gladiator 2. Yes, I went. Dear God, it made Napoleon look historically correct. I don't necessarily mind the historically correctness of it because I'm not as invested as I was in Napoleon, but. Yeah, the guy riding the rhino seemed a little bit much. I mean, to be fair, Gladiator 1 wasn't that historically accurate. It was just so chock full of awesome that it didn't really matter. But yes, no, so not a fan then. Peter Miller, I do have a Discord for the channel. It is available to subscribers. Sorry, to members of the channel. So if you join as a member, then you get the link for the Discord. Now, I must confess, I do not do anywhere near enough on the Discord as I should. So if you're wanting to go on there for the guys, keep it going. I do not, if I'm honest. I'm Facebook, YouTube, pretty much my main things. But the guys are on there, so yeah, absolutely check it out. You can cancel your membership after 1 month. You still stay in the Discord. I don't kick you out or anything like that. So yeah, it's just a way of getting together and having chatting stuff. The ancient game I play make the case for the Roman system versus Macedonian system, since Carthage used the phalanx and cavalry. Don't forget to hit that. Yeah, thank you. Go for it, painting. Thank you. Hello, sir. Yeah, I mean, right now. The new Hail Caesar epic Roman stuff I really like. As you can see, I have printed my own. Thank you, Cromarty Forge. These are absolutely gorgeous. I'm such a big fan of these. This is some Triarii. So these guys would be the third line, the final line of defense against the worst scum of the universe. Isn't that how it goes for Men in Black? But the problem I've got with Hail Caesar, and it's the same with any set of Republican Roman set rules, is that the units should be tiny. The units of Romans should be tiny, whereas everyone else should be medium, if you can look at it in Hail Caesar terms. Whereas they don't seem to be. So the stamina of a mana pool of Romans should be like 2. Well, in Hail Caesar it's a bit more, so it should be 3 or 4. But whenever I see people play it, they play them as medium-sized units. So I'm a little bit unsure about that, because I think that's not really how it's supposed to be. Now, if you can bear with me 1 second, I'm just going to grab my painted hussars, because I can't remember the colour I used for their. In fact, no, that's right. I won't do the hussars now. Now, some of you, I've just seen him on my painting. Honestly, this is an absolute horror show. My painting area, the part that's like this way from the camera, just awful. But I'm just going to adjust slightly. There we are. One thing I did want to show you, I've got see, I don't just do Napoleonic Frenchman. I've got a World War II Frenchman here as well. Although he's actually going to be a World War I Frenchman. I've got this chappie here as well. Where are we? Let's get him on camera. So this is a French marshal, but he's a vampire. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So he is for the Silver Bayonet. he is going to be done for a campaign that I'm currently writing myself. And it's going to be for 1814, the Battle for France. It's going to be during that. So, yeah, so he's good. But I will say, one of the things with this model is the detail is absolutely phenomenal. The lacing on the buttons here is all individually done. He's got his badge there. You've got the lacing on the hat here. Honestly, this is one of the most detailed Napoleonic figures I think I've ever seen, and it's a really French vampire marshal. So yes, I mean, it just goes to show, just because something might be a bit silly, it doesn't mean that they don't put the effort into the sculpting of it, because it really is a lovely, lovely model. You could quite easily replace the head, replace the hand that's holding a bloody heart, and you got yourself a fantastic basis for a French marshal there. That's an absolutely lovely model. Right, where are we? I made the point if they wanted to make a movie of Numidia, they should have done. Massinissa is a legendary figure. Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing. I mean, a lot of these films where they want to go woke, or they want to talk about subjects that, they make stuff ahistorical so they can get people of color in it or whatever. Just make a film about those people. I'd go and see a film about Massinissa. He's fascinating. Or I'd go and see a film about Shaka Zulu and all sorts of stuff like that. But yeah, they don't seem to do that, do they? Which is a shame, really. Something like Moana has made absolute gangbusters because people aren't against representation in cinema. I think they're just against forced representation. Wolf Hall, I've noticed, has got the odd background character who's, shall we say, out of time. But I mean, it is what it is, really, isn't it, these days? I use Hannibal by Little Wars. I use Age of Hannibal by Little Wars TV. Okay, I don't know that one. I shall have to check that one out. GBOH. I don't know what GBOH is. Art de la Guerre would have been my other choice. I like Art de la Guerre for smaller scale. Sorry, I'm trying to paint this Lancer, but I'm trying to get under his, trying to get around his back here. He's got his bedroll to paint green as well. So this is just Dark Angel Green, or was it? Yeah, it is. In fact, it's called Dark Angel Green. This is another contrast. These are primarily contrast. As I say, the only thing that's not really is going to be the plastron, the bib at the front. The wolf's teeth here, they're going to be the same colour as the plastron. The metals, obviously, and the straps, and I think that's probably it. The straps, including the reins, etc. Everything else is going to be contrast. Just because models on this scale, it saves a lot of problems and a lot of effort, which wouldn't necessarily be seen anyway. Let's get that up there. Pull this round. I'm going to do this saddle leather, so I'm going to leave that for now. He's got pointed cuffs on. Let's get those. The original Hail Caesar rules did have them as small units with the corresponding values. That's fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I've not seen people play them as that when I've seen battle reports. And I'm not sure how the system would work with just absolutely millions of small units. If it's like, say, Black Powder, where only one unit can contact at a time, then that's really, really going to hurt the Republicans. I mean, I don't know how they could do it, to be honest. I find the triplex Aces. I've never found a set of Wargames rules that's dealt with it to my satisfaction. So I'm not going to say they've not dealt with it well. It's just they've not dealt with it as well as I would have liked. So now I'm just putting brush down because I've noticed the mane of a horse that I've not done. So here we are. Let's just get that done up there. There we are. I need to do these things when I see them, otherwise I'll forget. So if you do go and see War of the Rohirrim, any chance we can have your thoughts after? Yeah, I mean, I won't do it as a video like I did for Waterloo. for Napoleon. Sorry, but I will. Yeah, I'll probably do it as a on a live stream. We can talk about it. Certainly, yeah. Right now, this guy's going to have reverse colours. If I do go and see it, it will probably be next week. I thought, because then we're running into the Christmas period, and I'm not going to have time. I don't think. I'm going to struggle to get down the club between now and Christmas because I think I'm going to go and see a gig next week. So how about you guys? What are you guys working on? Have you got any time off over Christmas that you're perhaps planning on doing a project in? I have a week off, and I'm thinking I want to. Sorry, I know I'm painting off camera. I just want to get these the backs of these guys done. And I'm thinking either my long delayed Elcid or perhaps my Württembergers fought under Eagles to Glory, or perhaps see, it's kind of for the Württembergers. I'm thinking I might do the Duchy of Berg Lancers, and they can count as one of the Lancer units for the German states. So get this guy's cuffs done, and we get his collar done as well. So because this guy's the Muso, he is in reverse colours. By 1812, they weren't in reverse colours. They would wear the Imperial livery, which was a light green and yellow. So I'm going to have to paint the yellow stripes on him. Just paint them on. But as I say, I want to do these guys for a bit more, a wider period. So I'm going to say, well, he drug his old uniform out when he went back to the colours, and he'd fought and he'd left the army in 1810, and he'd come back 5 years later for some more action. Now I've noticed I haven't done the shakos on these guys, so again, I'll do them now before I forget. I'm not worrying about avoiding the pom-poms or anything like that. I'm just slapping it on, and then I'll go back over it with white, and we'll sort out. This gun crew here, I've done all of their shakos black. I could have probably left at least one and done it as a shako cover. That would have just made the unit look a little bit better. Someone was talking about blonde hair earlier on using the Skeleton Horde. I am again very slowly getting around to painting up this little vignette here. This is Elcid and Jimena, his wife, and yes, I used the Skeleton Horde on her hair there. I'm going to give him black hair, but I wanted her to be blonde. In fact, I'm going to give him brown hair, and I'm going to do it now. Which gig? It is, so there's the local nightclub in Sheffield called the Lead Mill. It's been there for years and years and years. And it was under threat of closure. I'm not sure it is anymore. But the 90s band Delamitri are playing there. I'm a big Delamitri fan. So I think I'm going to go and see them next week. So there we go. Oh, Compiador, that's his hair blasted. That's what we like to see. Right, we're doing too many Russians. Yeah, old Dan, you got your Russians on the go. Some Prussian skirmishing fusiliers in the epic scale. Oh, that's cool. I'm finishing the last of Bulow's Corps. Fantastic. Brotherhood Without Banners. Oh, nice. Okay, for a Song of Ice and Fire. That's cool. What did I buy? I can see them down there. The gold cloaks. I bought the gold cloaks recently from Zatu Games. They had them for, I think it was 15 quid. So yeah, I very, 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 very rarely buy a Song of Ice and Fire. But if they're that cheap, I might pick up a box. I started off playing the Starks, but I got more into the Lannisters actually. To be honest, not so much Simon, but their distributors, what are they called? Asmodee. They just destroyed the game for me, really, if I'm honest. Hello, Major Clanger. Hello from Huddersfield. I was talking to my dad about Huddersfield yesterday. He did his history degree there. So there was a program about the Princes in the Tower, and which is very timely with the Warlord Wars of the Roses book coming out. So yes, no. Well, welcome. You're in the third best Yorkshire, but we can't have any. I find that you're probably better than East Yorkshire, to be fair. So I'll let you off. At least you're not from Leeds, so it could be worse. I am, of course, joking. Those of you who are not UK citizens will know that the only people Yorkshiremen hate more than people not from Yorkshire are people from different parts of Yorkshire. But it's all in good jest. It's all in good fun. So yeah, so I'm just bashing out these lancers. That's pretty much it. I'm hoping to get these finished by certainly by Christmas. This sprue, and I've got one more sprue to do. I've said before, it's a bit weird with the light cavalry with cavalry in general, with the epics, in that you don't get a unit per sprue, you get a third of 3 units per sprue. So hopefully by the time Christmas comes around, I will have a unit of lancers, a unit of hussars, and a unit of chasseurs. Now I can move on to the infantry. I'll be honest, the infantry's concerning me more than the cavalry, actually. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of dudes. By only having 3 bases per unit, that's certainly going to help. I'm going to turn the extra bases into like a second battalion. But it's a lot of dudes. Just play Great John. Well, I wanted to play Great John. For ages, I was trying to get hold of the Great Axes, but you couldn't get them. And then the day I got them, they got absolutely nerfed into the ground. So that was it for me. That was when I was just like, nope, I'm out. And they weren't exactly that good. I mean, they were pretty good. But no, I need to. No. I will say though, the models are absolutely stunning. They are really nice. If you've not seen the Song of Ice and Fire, guys, by Cool Mini or Not Simon, then check them out because some of the models are absolutely stunning. I believe there's a new game they've just brought out, or they're just about to bring out, and they've got the license for the TV characters, whereas before they were just based off the books. I believe they can now make them look like Jon Snow or Eddard Stark and people like that. So, you know nothing, Jon Snow. It's almost like he's in the room, isn't it? Actually, to be fair, he didn't say that, did he? He just went, I don't want it. She's my queen. It was Ygritte who said, you know nothing. I think I used to find it felt like UK movies and things. Yeah, absolutely. Well, when I read the books, though, they've got American voices. Okay, well, that's cool. Yeah, I like that. I'm listening to Andy Serkis reading Lord of the Rings at the moment, and why the hobbits, like one hobbit's got like a home counties accent, the other one's got a Scottish accent. I'm like, the bloody Hobbiton's not that big, is it? But Billy Boy did such a good job. I'll let them off. Right, guys, I'm going to paint the back of this guy. It's going to be off camera, I'm afraid, because I need to have the sprue upright. So those are the four 4 clues for the advent calendar so far. So we make sure you check it out. The link is in the description. I will be doing a video every day, hopefully, from now on in. It probably won't be live though. It'll probably be pre-recorded. But yeah, so make sure you tune in for those. 6:15 every day. It'll give you a hint to the next to that day's character. I might throw in some things as well where I might say, I don't want his name, I want his title, or I don't want his title, I want his name. Could be the other way. So for argument's sake, were it to be the Duke of Wellington, I might say, what was his family name that he used whilst in India, or something like that. So make sure you tune in so you don't get the wrong answer. And I'm going to have to knock it on the head there because it is 7 o'clock and I have got to go. But thank you very much for joining me. It's been fun. It's been a little, a little bit different. I probably won't be streaming from here again because it's been, yeah, interesting. But I want to say thank you very much. I hear that the bloody miniatures for English Civil War are absolutely phenomenal, Major Clang. I hear they are really, really nice. So, yes, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you on Sunday. There will definitely be a video on Sunday, although I am going out drinking on Saturday. So we will have to decide on what the quality is. It means that maybe when I'm doing my reviews, I might be extra harsh. So you never know. So if you like the harsh ones, definitely tune in for that. But thank you so much for joining me today. And I will see you guys next time.